Coming up on Mountain News this morning at 6:30, another downpour, another cleanup. Pike County residents say a collapsing drain system is to blame. And the water shortage emergency continues in Casey County despite recent rainfall. We'll catch you up.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, WYMT Mountain News this morning starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good morning. Welcome to WYMT Mountain News this morning. I'm McKinley Calandrino. The time is now 6:30. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Ashton Stanley for a look at your forecast this morning. Ashton, it's finally the weekend, finally Friday. For those that are maybe trying to plan some fun activities for this weekend, it looks like it's going to be raining the majority of it.
Yeah, we're looking at a solid amount of rain for the weekend ahead. So if you're gonna plan anything, I try to do it inside, maybe under an awning if it is more of an outside activity. Now, visibility right now is looking pretty good. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Visibility right now, if you're on the roadways, is looking pretty good, save for some rainfall, some showers that have gone through our area as of recent. We have a little bit of a dip in Logan County, but overall Jackson and Pikeville are having some blips, Harlan as well, of lower visibility. Overall though, much nicer visibility than we have been seeing. Let's take a look outside in Hazard right now. Very clear, nice sunny morning. Well, maybe not so sunny. We got some clouds in the sky. But what you need to know for today and really for this weekend is heavy rainfall today, and honestly you can tack that onto tomorrow and Sunday. We are also going to see it come in large bands, and then we're going to get some breaks as well. And we're going to have some updated timing for you as it continues through Saturday in just a few minutes. McKinley.
All right, thank you, Ashton. Prestonsburg police say a Floyd County woman was arrested after allegedly driving the wrong way and nearly causing head-on crashes. Officers say they were called out on July 5th to US 23 near Allen after multiple 911 calls reported a vehicle traveling northbound in the southbound lane. Police say the driver, Anita Davis, admitted smoking marijuana before driving, and officers reported finding more marijuana and drug paraphernalia in the car. She faces multiple charges, including wanton endangerment. A Whitley County man described by officials as a career criminal is headed to prison for decades. Roger Johnson was sentenced to 28 years after being convicted of manufacturing meth, trafficking meth, and being a first-degree persistent felony offender. Officials say the sentence follows a trial tied to a lengthy investigation that uncovered an active meth lab they say Johnson was running. One Pike County community is asking for action after continued flooding in the area. Residents of the Rocky Road community in Millard say a failing culvert and drain system, not a rising river, sent floodwaters through homes, garages, and driveways after a downpour hit the area Wednesday afternoon. County officials began receiving complaints about a mudslide and flooded roadways shortly after the rain. Crews have since addressed the damage and are working to make repairs, but folks say temporary patches are not enough and they want a permanent fix.
Obviously, this is the worst of it. This is the worst we've seen so far in the 5 years, but I mean, just a drizzle and you get this out of it. So it's kind of aggravating when it's a known issue. It's a reported issue and nothing's done about it.
County Commissioner Bubby Adkins says he plans to discuss the situation with the fiscal court soon. The water shortage emergency continues in Casey County despite the recent rainfall. Community groups are handing out bottled water to help people conserve city water and keep more water in the lake.
We've gave out a little over 5 tractor-trailer loads. We've got one behind me, one more on the way, and we've got 6 more pallets to pick up at Kroger yet.
Liberty's mayor says about 3.5 inches of rain raised the lake by about a foot. Crews are also building an 8,000-foot pipeline to bring water from the Green River into the lake. That project is expected to finish next week, and the bottled water distribution is set for 9 o'clock Wednesday morning with 4 cases available per family. Residents are still being asked to conserve city water until further notice, And the bottled water is being provided through donations from local and regional grocery stores and other contributors. One of the hot topics in Kentucky this week has been the health status of Senator Mitch McConnell. Multiple lawmakers in the Commonwealth have given their thoughts about the situation, including Governor Andy Beshear, who has requested the status of McConnell's health. President Donald Trump was also asked if he had spoken to Kentucky's senior senator, and here's what he had to say.
Mr. President, have you spoken to Senator Mitch McConnell since his hospitalization? How's he doing? Do you have any idea how he's doing?
I have no idea how he's doing. At the beginning of before the
Senator Mitch McConnell was admitted to the hospital back on June 14th. Cyclospora, is a parasite that is causing extreme diarrhea around the country. It typically spreads by eating produce or fresh herbs, including cilantro. Doctors say this is not a new germ, and cases of this trend to increase every year during the summer. But some states in the Midwest are reporting hundreds of cases. Health experts here in Kentucky are investigating if the parasite can be linked back to a specific fruit, vegetable, or even a grocery store. Symptoms can take up to days to even weeks to develop.
When people develop symptoms of a foodborne illness like cyclosporiasis, they tend to focus on the thing they last ate, right, as what caused the problem. With cyclosporiasis, this is not what you had for dinner last night, because the incubation period, the time between when you're exposed and the time you get sick, can be as short as 2 days, but it might be 2 weeks or longer.
Doctors advise people to wash their hands well with soap and water before and after handling fresh fruits and vegetables. They also say to wash all fresh fruits and vegetables thoroughly under running water before eating, cooking them, or getting ready to serve them. Prosecutors in Tyler Robinson's murder case yesterday showed a video of law enforcement interviewing Robinson's roommate. Lance Twiggs, who was also Robinson's romantic partner, described an interaction with him after the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The defense argued prosecutors would characterize the statements from Twiggs as a confession, and showing the footage in open court could undermine their client's right to a fair trial. Twiggs received immunity in exchange for his statements.
He started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it, and then eventually said that he would talk to his parents or turn himself over.
Twiggs also told investigators he personally never heard Robinson talk about Kirk. Robinson is accused of fatally shooting Kirk during an event at Utah Valley University last September and has not entered a plea. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Kentucky lawmakers hosted a town hall Wednesday night in Louisville over concerns about data centers. The legislators who hosted the meeting say they hope to hear concerns and find ways to turn that into laws. The concerns range from energy demand, water use, noise, transparency, and cost. Lawmakers say they want to make sure they hear from the people they represent before the session begins in January.
The utilities lobby is very, very powerful in Frankfurt. These are going to be the same powerful moneyed forces we're going to be up against with these hyper data centers.
Lawmakers say they plan to bring proposals to Frankfurt in January, but acknowledge that this is a process and the technology is moving faster than the law. A cross-country relay bringing the American spirit from coast to coast finished its 3,000-mile journey, wrapping up in Washington, D.C. just in time for our nation's birthday. Relay for America is the first event of its kind, with more than 5,000 runners continuously traveling over the course of 20 days to bring an American flag from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. Founders Joe Nail and Wyatt Moss say the goal was to find a way to celebrate the 250th and unite Americans across the nation, using the flag as a symbol of togetherness in a politically challenging time.
Fireworks, being welcomed by bagpipes, saluting military officers, every American tradition you could imagine was on full display at some point throughout the relay.
This relay was a chance for us to bring together Americans just in the true American spirit of carrying an American flag across the nation.
The relay kicked off next to the Golden Gate Bridge on Flag Day, June 14th, and finished at the U.S. Capitol on July 4th. Joe and Wyatt say they plan to do the same route next year and add additional relays for September 11th and the LA Olympics. Harlan County's Snow Cone Man has been serving neighborhoods for nearly 33 years. But now the truck he relies on is breaking down and becoming unsafe. His daughter and the community is raising money to help him get into a more reliable vehicle. Steve Smith says rising costs leave him barely getting by. Many times he gives out snow cones for free. He says the truck he is driving now has been running for 19 years, and it makes long days harder after a recent knee replacement. His daughter says a new truck would mean everything.
Well, to be honest, after I pay all the expenses and take out taxes for the government, I probably don't make $60, to be honest. I put in all them hours, and then when I go to the grocery store, it's gone. You know how high food is. But I do it just to keep doing it, see the smile on the kids' faces. I love it.
As of yesterday, the community has raised more than $1,400 to support Smith. If you'd like to help, you can just go find this story on our website or the WYMT News app. A record 52% of U.S. households now have both parents working full-time, making management of household chores and duties a bit tricky. Good Housekeeping recently surveyed more than 3,000 Americans to better understand how people manage their homes today. Women were more likely than men to say gender roles are still in place, and only 8% of couples reported household tasks are split evenly. Nearly 70% of those surveyed defined modern housekeeping as including so-called invisible labor, like planning, organizing, and scheduling.
Communication is key. Whether you try a family calendar device like a calendar or an app, or even just get things down on paper, really having it all in front of you shows those invisible tasks, like the mental load task on top of the tasks that are more physical, like cooking and cleaning. Keeping in touch as much as possible can help the burden really feel spread out.
According to the survey, about 95% of Americans said their partner's contribution to household chores affected how attractive they found them. More than half preferred that over being taken out on a romantic date. She sang one of the biggest hits of the 1980s, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Singer Bonnie Tyler has died.
What's your favorite line? Can you give us your favorite verse from the song?
I need you more than ever, and if you only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever.
The Welsh musician with the powerhouse and raspy voice died at a Portuguese hospital Thursday. She was reportedly put in a medically induced coma after emergency surgery a few months ago. Tyler was also known for hits like Holding Out for a Hero and It's a Heartache. Bonnie Tyler was 75. Thank you for joining us this morning. The time is now 5:43, and still to come on Mountain News this morning.
Museums around the country are all in for the World Cup. I'm Bradley Blackburn at the American Museum of Natural History in New York, where they're celebrating the science